it was more shame on myself.
Matt Beyer is one of the most hated exes from the Teen Mom franchise. We saw just how shady he was when he dated Amber Portwood, but after they called it quits, he stopped appearing on MTV. And since then, Matt's life has taken such bizarre turns, it's honestly insane. Matt was 42 years old when he first started dating Amber, who was 24 at the time. Aside from the big age gap, people immediately felt like something was weird about Matt, and it wasn't long before they were proven right. He was so sketchy and manipulative, and that was just what we saw on the surface. Underneath it all, Matt was hiding many dark secrets. In 2014, Matt sent Amber a message over Twitter and they hit it off right away. They bonded over both of them allegedly being in recovery from substance use dependency. Their relationship turned serious pretty quickly, but Amber had no idea how deceitful Matt truly was. In 2016, one of Matt's ex-fiancés warned Amber that he was incredibly manipulative. She was also the mother of the 8th child that Matt abandoned. He wasn't paying child support either. After all that lying and sneakiness made Amber's bombshell allegation against him seem extremely likely. Shortly before the relationship ended, Amber claimed that Matt had pocketed $140,000 from her bank account. He also didn't seem to be in recovery at all, since he randomly offered Amber's Teen Mom co-star, Caitlin Bolterra, some heavy medication for her anxiety. But that still wasn't the only thing Matt wasn't being truthful about. At one point during the show, Amber finally had Matt take a lie detector test. She discovered that he hadn't physically cheated on her, however, he had tried to make moves on another woman, and he probably would have cheated if she had been interested. But Matt's disgusting behavior didn't stop there. In Amber's book that she released last year, So You're Crazy Too, she accused Matt of physically harming her while they were engaged. She also claimed that he had forced her to use substances, which he later denied. But if there's anything Teen Mom followers know about Matt, it's that he's very good at twisting the truth. Toward the end of their relationship, it was revealed that Amber wasn't the first mom that Matt had managed from the show. Even though he told Amber that he didn't even know about Teen Mom, he had supposedly messaged both Farrah Abram and Janelle Evans first. It seemed like Matt only settled with Amber because she fell for his tricks first, but he had clearly been after the MTV money and reality show fame for a while. Amber finally called off their wedding and they split up for good in 2017. Ever since then, Matt's life has continued to be an absolute roller coaster. After Matt and Amber broke up, he didn't stick around in Indiana. He moved to Las Vegas, where he started playing professional poker. According to Radar Online, Matt actually competed in a major tournament and did surprisingly well. Allegedly, he participated in the World Series of Poker in 2017. He ended up losing, but he did win a few smaller tournaments that year. But the outlet also reported that Matt hadn't completely let go of his old life. What he admitted was honestly ridiculous. Matt claimed that he was sure MTV would want to film him in the future despite not being with Amber anymore. He also said that since he helped raise Amber's daughter Leah for 3 years, he still wanted to be a part of her life. He sounded so delusional at the time. Before long, Matt came up with a strange excuse for not being in the spotlight anymore. MTV probably had zero interest in filming him anyway, but he shifted in a completely different direction next. In November of that year, Matt spoke to E! News about the most recent Starling update. Apparently, he didn't want to waste any time moving forward with his wife. Matt revealed that he had just gotten married to Jennifer Conlon, who said preferred to live more privately. They had been dating for almost 6 months before impulsively deciding to tie the knot. But what happened next was seriously crazy. Sarcasm reported that in April 2018, Matt was evicted from his Las Vegas rental, and just 3 months later, he and Jennifer were both evicted from a different apartment. But Matt had more to worry about than just 2 evictions. This is insane. Matt's second eviction was also paired with a court case. The landlord sued both Matt and his new wife, and the timing couldn't have been worse. Believe it or not, Matt and Jennifer were actually expecting a baby together. Their son Christian was born in January 2019, but unfortunately, it looks like Matt fell back into his old ways. Basically, right after Christian was born, Matt supposedly abandoned his wife and new baby. In February, Jennifer filed for child support, but the odds of her getting any money from Matt didn't look too promising, and not just because of his history. At around the same time, Matt's legal problems had taken an unbelievable turn. By April, Matt was also being sued by 2 separate cash advancement companies. He owed about $1,600 to Check City and $3,000 to Rapid Cash, and apparently his poker winnings wouldn't cover both the bills. But the lack of money wasn't his only issue, not by a mile. Matt couldn't be located to be served by Rapid Cash. The company reportedly tried to find him for 120 days, but they weren't successful. As a result, the case was dismissed. Meanwhile, Matt's whereabouts were absolutely mind-blowing. By the summer of 2019, Matt was already in another relationship with a different woman named Jennifer. He moved to her home state of California, and unsurprisingly, they decided to get married. Their wedding date was set for February 2020, but there was a crazy obstacle in the way. Matt was still married to the first Jennifer. She didn't officially file for divorce from him until December 2019, but the court documents revealed some extremely shocking details. Jennifer was no longer requesting child support from Matt, but she was asking for full custody of their son. She claimed that Matt had no interest in being a present dad to Christian, but the filing exposed even more about his true colors, and it was so disturbing. Jennifer accused Matt of physically harming her during their time they were together. She also wrote in her divorce filing that Matt wasn't financially stable at all, which I think everyone already knew. What happened next was truly bizarre. Before Matt and the second Jennifer could get married, it seems as if history repeated itself yet again. They both stopped sharing photos of each other, and their active social media accounts listed that they were single. But as I'm sure you've probably guessed it, it wasn't long before Matt moved on to someone totally unexpected. Matt must not have completely lost interest in trying to find reality TV fame. In 2020, he briefly dated Love After Lockup star Tracy Wagman. Before she sadly passed away the following year, Matt revealed an astonishing update on their relationship. Matt claimed that even though he and Tracy weren't together, they were still good friends. I didn't think it was possible for him to have an ex who didn't absolutely despise him, but Matt made another change in 2020, and it was pretty wild. According to the US Sun, Matt started dedicating a lot of time to getting his health back on track. His diet was more nutritional, and he was in the gym almost every day. That resulted in a seriously crazy transformation. By the beginning of 2021, Matt had dropped 60 pounds. He was more toned than he'd been in a very long time, but his newfound fitness didn't mean anything when it came to his long list of child support payments. Later that year, the total sum had increased. The court case regarding Matt and Jennifer's son was resolved in the fall of 2021. Jennifer was granted full custody of Christian, and the court put an order in place for child support as well. Matt was ordered to pay $85 a month for support, but I wonder if he's actually made any payments. Matt also seems to be desperately trying to stay relevant. Last November, after an episode of Teen Mom: The Next Chapter, he attempted to get back into the MTV spotlight. What happened was honestly unbelievable. The episode showed Amber discovering her house had been trashed by her ex-fiance, Andrew Glennon. After it aired, Matt tweeted that he had spoken to Amber about the house situation. He also tweeted that he would do only one interview on it, which made it seem like he was still just as money hungry as ever. Quite a few people tweeted back at Matt to try to find out more about his communication with Amber. After enough digging, he must have finally had enough. He couldn't keep up the act and made an insane revelation. Matt admitted that he and Amber weren't friends and their communication had been minimal. In fact, he had only really emailed her once to ask if what happened on MTV regarding the house was real. He then even tried to claim that his interview offer was a joke, but I'm not so sure about that. I think most people would agree that Matt would most likely jump at the chance to profit from something related to Teen Mom, or anything in general to be honest. But Matt said that he was overwhelmed with responses to his tweet and was busy recovering from a supposed back surgery. Since then, his Twitter has been made private and his inactive Instagram account has been deleted. It's hard to say exactly what Matt has been up to in the last few months, but I highly doubt that he's completely changed his life. But what do you guys think? What do you think about the whirlwind relationships he's been in since we last saw him on MTV? And what are your thoughts on Matt trying to be a professional poker player despite all the money he owes? Let me know in the comments below.